Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to this day 2 MLB Winter Meetings wrap-up. I'm your host, of course, Anthony DiNardo. With me today, we have Andrew Destin from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Andrew, how's it going, man?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, another marvelous day. All kinds of Pirates news happening. We had all kinds of deals, all kinds of signings. Please tell us if that happened today.
They got the number 6 pick. No. I mean, seriously, still a lot going on, right? It's all sorts of buzz about what this team's going to do, what they need to do to improve this team. Obviously, the big talk is still going to be Brian Reynolds. Is he going to move positions? Does he come into the infield dirt? Does he remain in the outfield? How do they address this team? How do they improve the bullpen? That was a big talking point with General Manager Ben Cherington today, was that need to address the bullpen, specifically get some lefties in there, with Aroldis Chapman leaving, going to the Red Sox. The guys who didn't meet expectations last year, like Ryan Baracki. So still plenty to talk about. But the big news is that, 6 years in a row of a top 10 pick.
Well, let's talk about a little bit here. So the Pirates had the odds basically sitting around the 6th best. Yeah. They get the 6th best. So they didn't hurt themselves. They didn't help themselves. It's not like last year, like Cincinnati Reds came in, it's number 2. So it was like this year, Seattle got the 3rd pick. They really got helped out here. Nationals get the number 1 overall pick because, that's what they really need right now.
Of course.
But yeah, so they get the number 6 pick. Jason Kendall was here. Did you talk to Kendall at all? See him?
Didn't get a chance to chat with him, but, a few other guys, right? I mean, you see Matt Adams, the local product, to his left.
Yeah, let's talk. Matt Adams gets them the number 1 pick. I'm kind of pissed about that. Once again, Matt Adams destroying the Pittsburgh Pirates.
He's a Western PA guy, though, right?
The pride of Slippery Rock.
Yeah, there you go. But no, it was cool seeing Kendall there. I mean, if you haven't got a chance to read his book, it's a good one. I mean, no promo there or nothing, but it's a good read. Kendall's always been good to us.
So again, the number 6 pick. Now we know. It's a solid draft pick. So they're gonna have a lot of money to work with in the draft. They can operate however they wish to. But I know a lot of Pirates fans are like, that's cool, but let's focus on winning. Let's focus on the 2025 MLB product. Right. Like you mentioned, it's been such a big focus on the hitting. And I feel like Ben Cherington, even Derek Shelton has addressed it. Again, I don't really know what direction they're going. I mean, do you anticipate anything happening in the winter meetings with that at all?
Not particularly. I think there was some salient comments on my end, at least, that Ben Cherington said, which is he directed it to the part of this is the beginning of the offseason in his mind. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but the idea was that this is the beginning of the offseason, winter meetings 20 years ago, maybe a little bit different, where that was kind of where this is all wrapping up. But we've seen it last year where the Pirates make signings as late as mid-March with bringing in Michael A. Taylor. Obviously, you don't want to repeat the season that he put forth after that late start to spring training. The point remains that there's still plenty of time here, so I'm not necessarily expecting anything massive to happen now, but wheels are starting to turn on various things that we're hearing at the Post-Gazette about internal options, external options, what they could do, potential names they are tied to that would be logical fits for the Pirates. So I think it's starting to get in motion a little bit, but maybe nothing in true, coming to fruition by the time we leave here Wednesday night.
Right. And again, this isn't, I know there's nothing being leaked at all. Yeah. I'm not coming to you saying what have you heard or not. Sure. We've shared our thoughts and ideas. I mean, what do you think the Pirates' logical fit is? Is it really the free agent market? Is it the trade market? Is it both? Maybe some teams or names?
I think it's a little bit of both. I would say the trade market is a place that I would personally start. And I've banged the drum for this multiple times, but I think that you have a surplus of starting pitching, whether that's at the major league level or in the farm system. The Baltimore Orioles have the inverse issue, where they've got a ton of position players. They don't have enough pitchers. They're losing Corbin Burns assuredly through free agency. I'm thinking he's going to go to San Francisco, but that's just my gut pick. I view this as those are logical trade partners. Do the dance, help each other out. Maybe it's the Red Sox. That's another one that makes a good deal of sense. Or even it could be the Blue Jays. They're a team that has a lot of position player prospects that are just reaching the big leagues, and it remains to be seen if they have enough opening days or spots in the lineup, per se, to get all of those guys in there. So I think the AL East is a spot to look at. Free agency, from what I'm hearing, talking to various people around the league within the franchise, things of that nature, I do not personally think that free agency is going to be the way that this team goes about building, a roster that can compete for a postseason spot. I think if you're looking for real, solid additions, it's going to be through trade.
Okay. And so again, the big focus is on the hitting. Yep. But of course, today there's been a little talk about the bullpen. That's obviously, something that they have to address here.
Right.
So you mentioned I want you to tell them what you told me.
Yeah.
Right? So let them know what you asked Cherington in response here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this big talking point was, you look at the bullpen last year. It was, bottom 5 in baseball in terms of ERA. left-handed options did not meet expectations, right? Ryan Baracchi was hurt for the vast majority of the year. Jose Hernandez, they eventually parted ways with. Aroldis Chapman was your most reliable left-handed option, but of course he goes and walks to the Boston Red Sox for an extra $0.25 million per year. There was interest that we reported at the Post-Gazette on the Pirates side to bring him back. Ben Cherington confirmed as much today. The fact of the matter remains, they need left-handed options in the bullpen, and they're non-existent right now, frankly. I mean, it's just not, outside of Joey Wentz, that's the only left-handed guy you can turn to in the bullpen. I got to believe, in terms of free agent signings, that's what you're looking at, is get a couple of guys, get some lefties, maybe not necessarily some names that come to mind immediately for me, but that's where you'll see maybe a little more bargain hunting, $1 million, $2 million a year signings, get lefties that way, maybe even through the Rule 5 draft. I think these are some options where they're going to look to get some lefties, I think.
Right. Speaking of Jose Hernandez.
Yeah.
But no, what I find interesting, though, is like you mentioned, he did confirm it, that Aroldis Chapman was like on the radar. They had interest in bringing him back, which I've always alluded to. I'm like, it always fascinated me that they didn't put him on waivers last year, and the only thought was there must be, like, they want to bring him back. But the thing is, like, I mean, he had a solid season. Like, he's not coming back for $4 million, $5 million. You're gonna have to give him a big chunk of change. So they had actual thoughts and desires to bring him back. They knew we had to pay him something. So, like, at least that makes me feel like there's some type of cash out there. That you're offering, Chapman some type of substantial contract for. So, like, that's interesting to know about. But yeah. So again, like the lefties, I want to know this. I know a lot of our viewers.
Sure.
Any interest in bringing Baracchi back on some type of deal?
I think so, on a minor league deal. I think that would be good for both sides. This is a guy who enjoyed pitching in Pittsburgh, found something in Pittsburgh, especially in 2023 with the slider that was such a dangerous pitch for him.
Right.
He gave credit to the pitching staff in Pittsburgh for helping him unlock that. So I view this as it would make a good deal of sense. You don't have to uproot the family. He likes playing for this team, likes Shelton. He's a Chicago guy. There's a lot of ties there. I think Baracchi coming back makes a great deal of sense.
So, for all you NS9 memberships out there, the Baracchi emoji might be coming back.
Love it.
Yeah, so again, I know there's like a whole lot to talk about here. Again, it's the day 2 wrap-ups as you're seeing. Things over, but there's been some movement going on. So again, I'm more major league just to maybe ask you, because again, just to do the service of the people that are listening and seeing stuff. There was a Taylor Ward news coming out there that the Angels are looking to trade on. There's interest. Anything about the Pirates maybe be involved in that?
I checked in with a few people. It doesn't sound like the Taylor Ward deal is nearly as close to being a trade as it's been reported out there initially. There certainly is interest on the Angels side of moving him, just given the nature of where he's at in terms of club control, arbitration years, things like that, as a former first-round pick. That being said, I don't know that the Pirates are necessarily a big player for Taylor Ward. The cost for him would be pretty high, and I'm not sure that's necessarily something the Pirates are in the interest of doing. When it comes to trade, maybe it would be a little bit of a younger guy, because Taylor Ward is a little bit of a late bloomer, does have club control left, but this is a guy who, for the most part, has fared best when he's in a platoon role. I don't know the Pirates want to go that route, as evidenced by last year with the Brian De La Cruz signing or trading, how that kind of went about.
Right. Okay. Well, awesome. Yeah. Any last words? Anything else that you want to throw out there?
No, I mean, I think that just the big takeaway here is that the Pirates do want to make moves this offseason. This is early for them, and I'm not wanting to stratify and put teams into different levels, but, let's categorize it how it is, right? The moves that have been made so far, it's the Yankees, it's the Red Sox, it's the Mets. The Pirates, it's not as if they're being slow because, for the sake of being slow. It's just the nature of the market. When you are a team that operates more like a small market, budgetary constraints, things of that nature, your moves in the offseason are going to be a little bit delayed relative to the Juan Soto signings. Aroldis Chapman, they would have liked to have brought back. It was just, the Red Sox moved a little bit quicker. So I think there's more in store for the Pirates. Just going to have to, unfortunately, wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, no, and that's good. I mean, again, put it in perspective. Usually it's like, it's the top tier free agents that have to go, then that starts trickling down, then moving forward. So again, those guys are the ones that have gone. We'll say this, like, those are happening. A lot of times in winter meetings, they weren't happening. And that was the problem. That's why you're getting Michael A. Taylor in March. And maybe not in January and such. So I guess there's some hope that, with these things coming off the board now, Pirates moves can start happening soon. So there's that. But yeah, it makes sense. So, but Andrew, I appreciate it. Great talking and chatting with you. And we'll be back again tomorrow for day 3 wrap up.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
So, bye-bye.